get back to the auctioneer competition a little bit and ask you, what what's going through these guys' minds as they're auctioneering? I know you've competed, you've been an auctioneer. That's a big day. You're in an unfamiliar place, and you're you have all of everything that we just talked about running through the back of your mind, and you're getting familiar with where you are. So what's that mindset like on that day?
That's a great question, Whitney. And you
Sure.
know, all of us, most of us I come from a very athletic family. So when playing days are finished and they're behind you, you know, you're always trying to figure out what am I going to do to again to rekindle some of those competitive juices. And as an auctioneer, when we start competing against one another, one of the main things that is so unique about competition is the camaraderie and amongst your peers. And whether you win, lose, or draw, you start to really develop those relationships that you'll have for the rest of your life. And I know some of my closest friends in the world came from meeting other auctioneers across the country and in travels and going to contests. And one of the most unique things about what we're trying to do here, and just as you had mentioned previously about going to a new facility, meeting new buyers, working for new consigners, all those, you know, you take all that in consideration because as an auctioneer, your job ultimately, again, is you have that family or that producer's livelihood in the palm of your hand for 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, whatever the time, you know, that's required to market his product. So there's a tremendous amount of stress that goes into that. And then you add all the other dynamics of being in a different facility, working with different ringmen, setting in an auction block that you're unfamiliar with. And what we've tried to do with this contest is we want to make certain that everybody knows how much they, first of all, they mean to us. And secondly, we're there to enjoy the weekend, to celebrate, to really give the industry something back as a livestock market is concerned. We want everyone to know that this is about celebrating the other 364 days a year. And again, the contest is designed around it's a family friendly environment, and we want those auctioneers to come and spend a weekend with us without any you know sequestering of their cell phones or putting them in a holding room to where there's no interaction with a family or anything like that. This is about the industry itself and what we want to give back as far as an auctioneer bringing his family out and not only getting to sell some of the best livestock in the country, but getting the dynamics of getting to meet the producers and the buyers, and then not only that, again, celebrating everything that circus, you know, that circumvents any other opposition that we may face, because from time to time, as we've spoken of earlier, it's a very volatile market, and with some of the issues that we're facing, not only with drought, but as Brian had mentioned, some of the other political pressures that we're facing. Again, it's an opportunity for us to put all of that aside and really focus on what we do each and every day. And again, that's the celebratory side of it, and that's why we do it. And then you add all the other dynamics of prizes and that level of competition. Again, you've got auctioneers that really are wanting and desiring to get into this contest, and that's what it was founded on those principles. So that's what we're excited about as well.
There's a lot to that, and I mean, we have absolute, like, these are world champions, best of the best guys that are here to compete, and they're on their absolute A game that day. I think the judges probably have one of the hardest jobs in there that day to try and decide who's going to walk away with that prize money. What are those judges looking for?
Dustin,
You
what do you
know,
think, man?
well, when it comes to competition and auctioneering competition, as a judge, we hire and try to find the industry leaders first and foremost, who have been, you know, in the auction profession and who have either, you know, own a livestock market or have worked as an order buyer or are in some sort of media when it comes to dealing with presentation and marketing type situations. But what a judge typically is looking for, you know, in an auctioneer are a myriad of things. First and foremost is product knowledge and professionalism. We want an auctioneer to convey confidence first and foremost, but we want him to know we want him to have the ability to transpose that knowledge of the market and what he's actually trying to market. So you add those dynamics in, and then there's some other personal preferences that each judge has. The ability to sit and listen to that particular auctioneer for an extended period of time. So we want his chant to be very not only entertaining but be pleasing to your ears. And then you add that into, again, the execution of the sale, as far as, you know, how the cattle flow in and leave the ring. Do they do it in a timely manner? Is that particular auctioneer keeping the momentum of the sale together? Because one of the most unique things about auctioneering, and we call it competitive price discovery, but one of the main things, an auctioneer's duties are to create momentum and to build and create enthusiasm over that particular product. So when you add those things together and you sit back as a judge and you evaluate talent, I think one of the most unique things about that is how that individual fills that chair. Does he do those things that create enthusiasm? Does he create momentum? Does he talk about and accentuate, you know, the product as far as adding value by mentioning, you know, shot records or program or genetics? Does he interact with the buyers? Does he interact with the producer? And you know, those things, again, when it comes to all the things that you look for an auctioneer, I think they're right up at the very top, along, of course, with his ability to create that stuff through a really easy listening, very clear and precise chant. And that's, again, those are a lot of meat and potatoes that I've thrown out there, but I know that most of those judges, when they do evaluate talent, that's what they're looking for. And again, at the end of the day, we're still talking about how successful was the market. And again, that falls back on all of us and the auctioneers.
Yeah, that was great. And you can look at the auctioneers that have won here in Dodge, Russell Sleep, Charlie Cummings, and Will Epperly. Will, in my mind, will go on and win the LMA at some point in his future. He's super competitive and a high desire to win. These other two guys, both champions. So it is tough. I mean, you take what these judges have to do. It's you know, that's something we grapple with in setting up this contest is, you know, do we need a deeper scoring pattern, more judges? I mean, it is, I'm telling you, you're talking about picking fine points from true professionals. So that's where we're at on this thing. It is a difficult job. But when these guys go compete, it's just like going to the NFR or something. These guys are the best, and they know they might win, they might not win. They're going to lay it all out there, and then ultimately what the judges decide, that's what they decide. And they're all I think at the end they're all friends, and they're going to shake each other's hand, pat on the back, and move on from there. But they want to win it, and it is a very difficult job for the judges.
Yeah, it's a competitive, really competitive day.